It's another shaky day as we wonder what the hell is going on. We're watching another empire fall in epic fashion as the U.S. mimics the decline of Rome in glorious form. Rome fell because it used force to steal what it had, slaves to do the work of feeding its population, was overextended militarily, and produced absolutely nothing of value. Around 153 BC, Cato the Elder, one of Rome's most prominent senators, began ending every single one of his speeches with the same words: Carthago Delenda Est, or Carthage must be destroyed. His relentless campaign to destroy Carthage has been described as the first recorded incitement to genocide. The genocide actually happened. Rome destroyed Carthage and its entire civilization. What's taught in schools today is vastly different than the reality of the time. Fast forward to modern day, and the commander-in-chief of the most powerful military in the world, the President of the United States, has declared, "A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again." The U.S., with a population of 340 million people, gave voters two choices: Trump or Harris. The choice seemed obvious. In his first term, he gave everyone a good laugh when he mentioned injecting people with bleach. Some groans, and in the end, nothing notable, but it really wasn't that bad. He's promising to end wars, lean into America first, and dominate global markets.
I am the candidate of peace.
A lot of people thought, hell, let's give him another go. Anyone that should have that job won't do it, so let's have another amusing 4 years and be done with it.
A vote for Donald Trump is a vote for a man who wants to end wars, not start them.
We do not want war with Iran. We actually want peace.
I fell for it like a lot of people did. One thing to keep in mind here, I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for Harris either. I'm just a Canadian with a couple YouTube channels, a commercial driver's license, and a love for woodwork. It started immediately. Threats to take over Canada and Greenland, ICE agents killing U.S. citizens, Venezuela attacked by the U.S., over 30 separate fights and skirmishes ongoing in Africa, Russia still grinding away in Ukraine, and now Iran versus the United States. He hasn't stopped talking about taking over Greenland or Canada, and has now added Cuba and all of South America to the list. Trump wants the U.S. to leave NATO because of hesitance from other members to get involved in Iran. The war in Iran was instigated by the U.S. and a non-NATO member, Israel. No congressional approval, no notice to anyone, it just happened. People think the U.S. is funding NATO. It's simply the U.S. spending money on its own military. And those long, profanity-laced posts under his name, he isn't writing them. Someone is using his severe cognitive decline as a puppet. He said a few times that he doesn't write the posts, but he simply approves them. If you're unsure of whether that's true, watch all of the times he's referred to profanity as nasty and disgusting language. He has said fuck, but only once. His posts, although long at times, used to be coming from a much calmer demeanor than they have been recently. I'll just toss this in here in post, but compare these two videos of Caroline Leavitt. Her day one introduction to the world.
How are we? Good to see all of you. It's an honor to be here with all of you. A lot of familiar faces in the room, a lot of new faces. And President Trump is back, and the golden age of America has most definitely begun.
And now,
what was your understanding of what he meant when he said, this civilization is going to be eliminated?
I think it was a very, very strong threat from the President of the United States that led the Iranian regime to cave to their knees and ask for a ceasefire and agree to reopening the Strait of Hormuz. So it was a very strong threat that led to results. And as the Secretary of War stated at the Pentagon this morning, it was not an empty threat by any means. The Pentagon had a target list that they were ready to hit go on at 8 p.m. last night if the Iranian regime had not agreed to open the strait, which they did. And I think that's something we should all be grateful for.
She's exhausted, and I don't believe she believes what she's saying. The U.S. has been asserting its military globally for over a century and is once again considering a draft to sustain it, to the point of printing money to issue debt, print more money to service that debt, and in the end, devaluing its own currency to the point that it will never achieve being free of that debt. Napkin math on how much has been spent, plus the interest on that for its military, is around its current $39 trillion debt load. If you divide the 50 U.S. states equally, that's about $780 billion per state. Think of the world we'd be living in if that money had gone somewhere else instead. It's not wishful thinking to assume we'd have flying cars, global peace, and prosperity for all as we expand into the cosmos. In case you missed it, there are 4 astronauts circling the moon. Here's the interaction when Trump called.
Wayne Gretzky, who I think you know, the great one. And I spoke to your prime minister and many other friends I have in Canada. They are so proud of you. And you have a lot of courage. I'm not sure if they'd want to do that. I'm not even sure if the great one would want to do that, to be honest with you. But you have a lot of courage doing what you're doing, a lot of bravery and a lot of genius. But they're very, very proud of you.
Administrator Alex, just get a quick comm check, make sure you guys are still on the line and we didn't have a handover.
I am. Yes, I am.
And integrity. And back over to you, Mr. President.
Yeah, I think we might have gotten cut off. It is a long distance. If you heard me say that, but it was very nice.
Yes, Mr. President, we heard that, and we do love our Jeremy Hansen. We love all our Canadian astronauts, Jenny Gibbons, Josh Kutrick. They're just great people, and they're such a welcome addition to our Corps.
Here's the interaction when Carney called.
To be speaking with you, Jeremy, and the crew. We've all been watching and inspired by what you're doing, and I just wonder. A lot of Canadians just want one point of reassurance that. The preference is for maple syrup over Nutella on your pancakes in the morning. I'll take that as a yes.
That's the contrast that hits hardest. While astronauts are out there pushing the boundaries of what humanity can do, the leadership back home is busy redrawing maps and issuing threats. Military actions stack up with no real debate, no real plan beyond, we're the strongest, so we decide. This is how empires lose their way. Not with one big dramatic crash, but with one overreach after another. Force becomes the default. Debt piles higher. Allies pull away. And the people at home, whether in the U.S. or watching from abroad, are left wondering how much longer the shaking can go on before something breaks for good. Rome thought it could keep expanding forever. It thought Carthage had to be destroyed to achieve peace. Then the next target, and the next, until the whole system collapsed under its own weight. I can't shake the feeling that we're all passengers on this ride. The question isn't just which civilization gets targeted next. It's whether anyone in power is still capable of choosing a different direction before the debt, the wars, and the overreach make that choice for us.
Thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled to be speaking with you, Jeremy, and the crew. We've all been watching and inspired by what you're doing. And I just want to, I'm conscious. I spoke to the president the other day. I think he may have mentioned just how proud we are to be associated with this mission. And, it strikes us in Canada, there's such an incredible team, from the engineers who designed Orion and the rockets to mission control, to Jenny and the team there, the 4 of you. And I wonder if you just, enlighten us a bit about some of the lessons that you've learned over the years and up there in terms of teamwork and collaboration. I mean, this is such a unique example for the world and beyond.
Also, why don't I pass the word or the mic around a little bit? I think my colleagues would love to say a couple words, and they know a lot about collaboration. You can see we got our flags here together. We're better together, and I'll pass the mic.
Perfect.
Greetings, Prime Minister Carney. Just wanted to say thank you for the amazing hospitality, and we look forward to sharing all of the discoveries and pictures and experiences with the people of Canada when we get back. And I think I'll just say one word about teamwork is willingness. Willingness is a huge ingredient in a successful team.
I'll just add that I flew to the International Space Station in 2014, and before we go up there, we have to go to Montreal to the Canadian Space Agency and do training up there. And it was amazing. In just 1 week of my robotics training up there, I have lifelong friends from Canada, and I am honored to serve alongside Jeremy, Josh, and Jenny, truly the finest astronauts I have ever met.
I completely agree. I love my crewmates' words. I think we're so in agreement on this. And really, the answer to your question in so many ways, we are an example, I hope, of that collaboration, about how when you go together, when you bring in partners and contributors that are all excited about the same mission but have different talents, how you can go so much farther. It may be more complicated, but I think what we've shown time and time again, both in the International Space Station and with this vehicle and this mission, is that the impacts are just so much greater and they're compounded.